Tren positif yang kami di Coaching Indonesia menyambutnya dengan gembira. Kami berkesempatan untuk membangun platform teknologi yang memungkinkan orang bisa belajar dari mana saja. Dan ditambah dengan interaksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach, yang membuat teman-teman yang sedang belajar ini seolah-olah berada di kelas. Namun juga mendapatkan tambahan-tambahan fitur seperti quiz, assessment, jejak pendapat, dan juga paket-paket entertainment yang kemudian dikemas untuk mempercepat proses pembelajaran. Dan ini memungkinkan kami untuk juga menjangkau kalangan yang lebih luas di Indonesia, kalangan pemerintahan, kalangan swasta, guru, mahasiswa, pebisnis, semuanya memiliki akses yang sama. Dari manapun, kapanpun, semuanya bisa menggunakan teknologi ini hanya dengan memindahkan jari-jari tangan dan kemudian berinteraksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach yang ada di Coaching Indonesia.
Isn't it beautiful? How our destinies have become intertwined. Once underdogs, we've gone so far.
Transforming the Indonesian technology industry, providing accessible daily solutions,
and democratizing commerce through technology, fulfilling one shared mission of doing good for all. But how far can we go?
For that very question, we've decided to come together to be stronger.
Adopting gotong royong, the Indonesian spirit of working together, to extend the opportunity for a better life to everyone. Made possible by a team of challengers, passionate for a greater impact.
We are local pioneers, ready to shape the global world. To democratize opportunity, to uplift everyone by giving them an equal chance to thrive.
Gojek and Tokopedia introducing the power of togetherness. Go to, go far, go together.
Masalah di kita kan, terutama di kita itu biasanya di modal satu pasaran.
Kita ada semangat baru, kita nggak takut lagi harus jual kemana sih hasil kerja kita. Selain kita dikasih pembiayaan, modal pembiayaan untuk budidaya, dikasih juga jaminan pasarnya dan kontrak harga.
Biar petani bisa maju.
Tapi kita juga ingin cari membantu.
Welcome to Visa Coach, the first coaching mobile app in Indonesia. Let's get started. Elevate your knowledge and skills in various coaching programs. accelerate your growth in career, business, and life. Enjoy exclusive content via the app. Check out our videos, podcasts, articles, and tools. Find specialized coaches from 8 coaching categories. Get to know your coaches from their profiles and professional experiences. Get your VistaCoach account now by simply signing up with your email address. Fill in your profile professionally. Choose the goal that you want to achieve. Find a coach to help you succeed on your journey towards the goal. Manage your coaching session easily by scheduling, tracking, and updating progress like never before. Rate your coach by adding stars and comments about your session. Download VistaCoach now for free, available on App Store and Google Play Store. VistaCoach. Everyone needs a coach.
Hi Toshiki.
Hi, Paiksan. How are you?
Very good. Kapan terakhir pulang ke Indonesia?
Wah, before COVID probably ya. It's been a while. Udah lama nggak naik pesawat.
Dengar lagu tadi jadi pengen pulang ya.
Udah lama sekali nggak dengar lagu kayak gitu.
Waduh. Deg-degan nggak sih? Saya deg-degan campur terharu juga. Pengen netes air mata nih. Serius.
Iya. Jarang sekali kalau dengar lagu kayak gitu di Amerika, kecuali kalau lagi ikut upacara 17-an di konsul baru dengar lagu-lagu kayak gitu.
Iya. Aha. Sempat merayakan, ini teman-teman nih yang lagi menonton kita, minal aidin wal faizin, mohon maaf lahir dan batin ya. Di Bay Area sudah halal bihalal belum? Kalau saya sudah minggu lalu di Seattle.
Sudah belum tuh KJRI? Saya juga tidak tahu.
Kalau mereka internal katanya sudah, kata Pak Nugroho.
Oh, oke.
Iya.
Mungkin kita perlu perkenalan diri sendiri dulu kali, Pak Iksan.
Silakan. Saya kenalin kamu ya.
Boleh.
Ya, ini rekan saya nih, teman-teman yang sudah hadir. Sekarang selamat pagi Indonesia. Banyak juga coaches yang untuk melakukan session kedua dari Coaching Indonesia. Terima kasih atas waktunya Bapak-bapak, Ibu-ibu ini. Sebagian besar Toshiki akan lanjut lagi loh setelah kasih grup coaching kepada kita semua di sini. Lanjut lagi kasih grup coaching kepada Dekdikbud.
Wow.
Jadi ketemu lagi sama tim ex Gojek, Pak Nadiem Makarim ya.
Very busy.
Very busy, very generous heart. So, Toshiki ini rekan saya di Amerika, kenalan karena ada inisiatif dari KJRI San Francisco yang dipimpin oleh Pak Konjen, Pak Simon Soekarno. Sementara inisiatif ini digerakkan oleh Pak Nugroho Yuwono beserta teman-teman di Konsul Ekonomi. Nah, di situ saya kenalan sama Toshiki. Beliau software engineer di Bay Area. Gitu. Sudah berapa lama di sini? Silahkan Toshiki.
Sudah dari 2015 kerjanya, jadi ya baru 6 tahun lah ya. Belum selama Pak Iksan, tapi ya jadi software engineer di Yahoo Fantasy Sports. Dari sejak lulus sudah di Fantasy Sports, doing back end. Jadi basically coding lah every time. Gitu. Dan Pak Iksan sendiri mungkin very humble and a lot of experience compared to me. Maybe Pak Iksan, do you want to introduce yourself? Probably I cannot introduce you better than you introduce yourself, I would say.
Simple aja Toshiki, saya sekarang executive coach di Coaching Indonesia. Jadi ini salah satu inisiatif bersama KJRI San Francisco. Selain merayakan Hari Kebangkitan Nasional, juga mengenalkan coaching kepada masyarakat khususnya diaspora Indonesia di negara manapun. Gitu. Latar belakang saya sih dulunya di korporasi, di banking sama di consumer goods. Sekarang saya di sini di Olympia, Washington State ya, bukan DC, Pantai Barat. Sudah tahun ke-7 ya bersama istri dan 2 anak. Anak saya baru lulus dari Washington State ya, kampusnya UPS, Puget Sound. Sementara yang satu lagi udah kerja di New York.
Wow. Pak Iksan gimana mulainya sampai akhirnya ikut jadi di coaching?
Waduh, ini pengalamannya sih sebenarnya panjang. Berkenalan dengan sebagian kecil metode coaching sih dari 15 tahun yang lalu ya. Saya mulai justru dari grup coaching. Terus ketemu sama Coaching Indonesia tahun lalu. Itu yang merubah total tuh. Bagaimana melihat manfaat coaching untuk hidup saya dan klien dan teman-teman gitu. Bahwa kita disadarkan potensi kita itu besar sekali dan bisa dikembangkan. Gitu kira-kira. Pokoknya nanti seru diceritain nanti oleh salah satu presentasi Alfalak Arsen Datama, master coach yang membawa coaching ke Indonesia 10 tahun yang lalu sebenarnya, yang memulai
coaching. Salah satu yang memulai coaching di Indonesia. Gitu.
Amazing. Dan selain Pak Alfalak juga saya rasa kita punya so many great speakers today line up.
Oh my goodness.
Very excited to hear everyone.
Yes. Ini bahasanya bahasa apa ya kita? Boleh campur-campur atau sedikit?
Iya, mungkin kita campur-campur aja kali ya. Karena I think one of our speakers juga Eddie Chan probably more comfortable talking English. Jadi kita campur-campur Indo sama Inggris aja kali ya.
Boleh. Yang jelas pembicara kita yang kedua setelah Kevin Alwi dari Gojek itu Pak Eddie Chan ya.
Yep.
Beliau sih fasihnya bahasa Inggris, cuman kenal bahasa Indonesia sedikit-sedikit karena sering bolak-balik katanya ya.
Betul. Abis Eddie Chan dari Intudo, kita juga punya Pak Mitra Wineka, lebih nickname-nya lebih dikenal dengan Eka, juga dari Tanihub. Very probably one of the biggest agriculture company startup currently in Indonesia. So very exciting to hear. Last week juga ada news juga dari TechCrunch kalau mereka baru raise Series B funding $65.5 million. Jadi very excited to hear more from Eka.
Wow, ini bakal ada dekakorn baru ini ya?
Iya betul, bakal terus tambah terus. And the last speaker, of course, our one and only from founder of Coaching Indonesia, Alfalak Arsendatama. Very excited to hear everyone. I think one yang very important juga, I think not everyone realize that actually coaching is something that's very important and something to be involved in early days rather than later on udah mulai tua baru sadar oh mestinya dulu coaching atau cari mentor gitu ya.
Yeah.
Yes, very exciting. So I think we're probably gonna start the event in 5 minutes, Pak Iksan.
Oh yes. To that note yang tadi waktu perkenalan Tanihub ya, jadi teringat saya kaget loh karena acara kita saya mendalami Tanihub luar biasa ya. Mereka punya gudang besar sekali, udah kayak Amazon untuk menampung hasil panen petani loh di beberapa kota. Can you imagine?
Wow.
Sehingga memampukan mereka untuk nampung hasil panen, kemudian ekspor. Mereka udah ekspor sampai Middle East loh.
Wow, sampai Middle East.
Sampai
berarti
Middle East,
mereka
Singapura udah juga.
Sudah termasuk startup internasional, sudah bukan nasional lagi mereka.
Oh yes. Ya. Itu kaget saya, mereka punya gudang yang begitu rapih, begitu professionally managed ya.
Very huge. Very exciting to hear from Eka about Tanihub, how he started, even Eka's personal life, gimana cara dia sampai start Tanihub. Very exciting, I think. Pasti baik juga dari audience juga penasaran gimana sih bikin startup, gimana cara nyari problem, how to solve, what are the important things, juga also about I think kayak mistakes yang mereka bikin yang kita nggak mau, kita coba belajar lah biar kita nggak ulang hal sama.
You mentioned a very important word, Toshiki, humble ya. And I found begitu kenal sama Kevin, Eka, even Eddie, they're all humble. Dan saya temukan apa yang akan diceritakan oleh Mas Al nanti ya tentang otentisitas. Itu so true about them. They're so authentic to their vision, to their mission, their goals. Nggak sekedar gue banget gitu. Tapi mereka stick to the goals in ups and downs.
And then kelihatannya saya rasa mereka juga very approachable. Nggak kayak, oh I'm very successful, kayak you cannot talk to me, we're in a different level. Tapi mereka actually very humble and wanna join this kind of event. They must be very busy. They want to share their stories and then make sure they mentor, coach, and help everyone.
Oh man, we're so lucky. Yes, we're so lucky. Ada Pak Kevin, ada Pak Eka, Eddie, and Mas Al ya. They're all great. By the way, in about 2 minutes ya, kita akan mendengarkan sambutan dari Pak Konjen, Pak Simon Soekarno, Konsul Jenderal Republik Indonesia di San Francisco. Daerah kamu sama daerah saya di bawah perlindungan, di bawah otoritas beliau nih. Jadi kita bisa curhat nanti ya. Dan as we speak nih, Pak Simon ini sedang menonton kita. Jadi kita sapa, halo Pak. Terima kasih atas dukungannya dan restunya sehingga acara ini berhasil terselenggara beserta tim konsul ekonomi. Kalau boleh Toshiki saya mau sebut ya nama-namanya. Pak Nugroho Yuwono, Ibu Rizka, Pak Oka, Ibu Nur, terima kasih banyak Bapak-bapak, Ibu-ibu atas dukungannya. Besar hati kami kalau suatu saat setelah COVID kita ketemu secara fisik.
Semoga semua orang bisa cepat tervaksinasi, semuanya selalu pakai masker, jaga jarak, selalu sehat, jadi kita bisa cepat bergabung lagi sama-sama.
That's a great message, Toshiki. Very true for teman-teman yang di Indonesia juga ya, sehingga kita bisa cepat keluar dari kemelut pandemi ini.
Betul. We're all in this together. Jadi let's do it all together and it will be done.
Mudah-mudahan setelah webinar ini, pandemi is just history. Mentally ya, mentally the pandemic is over.
That's true.
Ya, oke. Teman-teman dari Coaching Indonesia silakan ditampilkan Bapak kita, Bapak Konsul Jenderal, Bapak Simon Soekarno dari Konsulat Jenderal Republik Indonesia di San Francisco. Demikian sambutan beliau.
Yang terhormat Bapak Kevin Alwi, Co-founder and CEO of Gojek, Mr. Eddie Chen, founder of Into Ventures, Bapak Pamitra Vineka, Co-founder and CEO of TaniHub, Bapak Alfalak Alsendatama, founder and CEO of Coaching Indonesia, moderator hari ini, Bapak Iksan Tobing dari Coaching Indonesia, dan Bapak Toshiki Yahya, Ketua Indonesia Professional Association, Cabang San Francisco Bay Area, serta para hadirin sekalian yang saya hormati dan banggakan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Selamat pagi di Indonesia dan selamat malam di Amerika Serikat. Pertama-tama saya berharap bahwa kita semua berada dalam keadaan baik dan sehat, sekalipun pandemi COVID-19 masih belum berakhir. Dan semoga kita selalu dalam kondisi semangat dan percaya diri dalam menghadapi tantangan sulit ini. Perkenankan saya menyampaikan penghargaan kepada tim Coaching Indonesia yang telah berkolaborasi dengan KJRI San Francisco dalam penyelenggaraan acara webinar Coaching Experience Series Digital and Mental Transformation Beyond the New Normal, Business, Career, and Personal Growth in the Technology Era pada hari ini. Saya juga ingin mengucapkan selamat kepada Bapak Kevin Alwi atas mergernya Gojek dengan Tokopedia dan menjadi GoTo yang diharapkan kelak menjadi startup terbesar, tidak saja di Asia namun juga di dunia. Para hadirin yang saya hormati, webinar ini diadakan sebagai peringatan Hari Kebangkitan Nasional ke-113 yang jatuh pada tanggal 20 Mei dengan tema kali ini yaitu Bangkit, Kita Bangsa yang Tangguh. Tema ini dipilih sebagai pengingat bahwa kebangkitan nasional dapat mengajarkan kita untuk selalu optimis dalam menghadapi masa depan. Bangsa yang tangguh tentu saja bisa menghadapi semua persoalan dan tantangan yang ada saat ini. Sebagaimana disampaikan oleh Menteri Komunikasi dan Informatika Republik Indonesia, bahwa peringatan kebangkitan nasional ini menjadi titik awal dalam membangun kesadaran untuk bergerak mengatasi permasalahan-permasalahan bangsa Indonesia. juga mengingatkan kita kepada semangat untuk bergerak sebagai bangsa dengan tanpa memandang suku, agama, ras, dan golongan manapun. Adapun tujuan peringatan Hari Kitnas ke-113 adalah untuk terus memelihara, menumbuhkan, dan menguatkan semangat gotong royong kita sebagai landasan dalam melaksanakan pembangunan dan selalu optimis menghadapi masa depan untuk mempercepat pulihnya bangsa kita dari pandemi COVID-19. Para hadirin yang saya hormati, sejalan dengan tema peringatan Hari Kebangkitan Nasional kali ini, serta visi pemerintah untuk pembentukan 1.000 startup dan 20 unicorns baru di tahun 2025, saya berharap penyelenggaraan webinar hari ini menjadi salah satu upaya KJRI San Francisco bersama Coaching Indonesia untuk memberi dorongan dan motivasi kepada para pemuda, baik yang berada di Amerika Serikat maupun di negara lain, dan juga di Indonesia, untuk mengembangkan karir dan kemampuan di bidang IT di Indonesia. Khususnya bagi mahasiswa atau profesional yang ingin pulang kampung dan memberikan kontribusi dalam membangun perekonomian di Indonesia. Presiden Joko Widodo menyampaikan bahwa perkembangan ekonomi digital dan industri 4.0 Indonesia merupakan yang tercepat di Asia Tenggara, di mana Indonesia telah memiliki sekitar 2.193 perusahaan rintisan atau startup, dengan 5 startup berperingkat unicorn dengan valuasi lebih dari 1 miliar US dollar dan 1 startup berpredikat dekakorn dengan nilai valuasi lebih dari 10 miliar US dollar. Jumlah ini telah menjadikan Indonesia menjadi negara terbesar ketiga di dunia dalam hal startup setelah Amerika Serikat dan India. Industri 4.0 diperkirakan juga akan berkontribusi pada produk domestik bruto Indonesia dengan jumlah mencapai 133 miliar US dollar pada tahun 2025. Dengan didukung 185 juta penduduk yang telah terhubung layanan internet, kemajuan industri tersebut akan mengantarkan Indonesia menuju 10 besar kekuatan ekonomi global pada tahun 2030. Menariknya, tren pertumbuhan startup ini dipelopori oleh para generasi muda yang memiliki semangat sociopreneurship, yakni bagaimana mereka dapat menyelesaikan berbagai masalah yang ada di masyarakat serta memberikan dampak yang signifikan lewat medium teknologi. Saya yakin bahwa para pendiri startup, unicorn maupun dekakorn memiliki jiwa yang kuat, pantang menyerah, dan rasa determinasi yang tinggi dalam mewujudkan cita-cita mereka membangun sesuatu yang memiliki impact terhadap masyarakat. Oleh karena itulah, webinar hari ini merupakan kombinasi dari menimba pengalaman atau best practices para pelaku dunia digital dan juga motivasi untuk mengembangkan diri yang dipandu oleh para coach dari Coaching Indonesia. Yang saya yakin setelah rekan-rekan selesai dari webinar ini akan menjadi seseorang yang berbeda dan memiliki semangat baru. Para hadirin yang saya hormati, narasumber kita hari ini, Bapak Kevin Alwi dan Bapak Pamitra Wineka adalah alumni dari Amerika Serikat dan Bapak Alfalak adalah lulusan dari Australia yang diharapkan bisa menjadi motivasi bagi para hadirin di sini, di mana beliau memilih pulang setelah selesai studinya di luar negeri guna mengembangkan startup yang kemudian masing-masing startupnya menjadi kebanggaan Indonesia saat ini. Saya harap para hadirin, terutama rekan-rekan mahasiswa dan profesional yang berada di Amerika Serikat atau di negara manapun, bisa mendapatkan masukan dan menimba pengalaman dari para alumni ini, serta dari para narasumber lainnya. Bagaimana setelah lulus, bisa pulang untuk mendirikan startup ataupun bergabung dan mengembangkan startup yang sudah ada, seperti Gojek dan Tanihub. Sekali lagi, saya ucapkan terima kasih atas kolaborasi dalam penyelenggaraan acara ini, dan semoga membawa manfaat dalam membantu pengembangan transformasi digital di Indonesia, serta pada gilirannya akan membantu pembangunan ekonomi dan kesejahteraan Indonesia secara umum. For my friend, Mr. Eddie Chen and Mr. Patrick Yip, I thank you for always supporting Indonesia, and we hope that you can give comprehensive presentation about Into the Venture and its program, the Into the Pulcam Turtle Fellowship, and how Into the can offer mentorship to qualified candidates to support the entrepreneurial and professional aspiration by returning home to Indonesia. I thank you. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan.
Terima kasih Pak Simon, terima kasih banyak Pak atas sambutan hangatnya untuk acara kita dan dukungan penuh atas acara ini. By the way Toshiki, acara kita ini ditonton oleh 51 kota loh. Orang-orang di 51 kota.
Wow.
Di berapa negara tuh? 15 negara, di 5 benua lengkap kecuali penguin Antartika, nggak bisa nonton.
Antartika nggak bisa. Wow, banyak sekali. Sebelum itu, mari kita kasih sambutan juga kepada yang sudah hadir. Bapak Cepi Wartono, Dubes RI untuk Meksiko, Guatemala, El Salvador, dan Belize. Terima kasih telah hadir di event hari ini. Dan also Bapak Dian Triansyah Jani, mantan Dubes RI untuk PBB. Terima kasih untuk waktunya telah hadir di sini. Dan sebelum itu, mari kita go to the next. I think we should start this event. We have amazing speakers lined up. Very exciting. So I think I want to remind everyone that kalau ada questions, you guys can post in the Zoom chat, and we will probably just go through the Zoom chat. Jadi kalau ada question, post aja di Zoom chat.
Dan Toshiki, maaf, untuk yang nonton di YouTube, bisa posting juga. Kita mengamati di YouTube juga kalau ada yang nanya-nanya, karena acara ini di streaming juga di YouTube.
Wow. Reminder juga untuk yang bakal setelah ikutin event ini selama 2 jam sampai habis, bakal ada sertifikat untuk mereka yang full participate dari awal sampai habis. Okay, I think further ado, let's invite our first speaker, Kevin Alui from Gojek, co-founder and CEO Gojek. I don't think Kevin Alui needs more introduction. Everyone knows him. Very humble. We're very excited to hear from you. I guess not only Gojek now is going to be a go-to or go-to. So please welcome Kevin Alui. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So this presentation will be in English. Saya diminta untuk pakai bahasa Inggris. Jadi presentasi yang ini bakal dalam bahasa Inggris. Cuman kalau ada Q&A dalam bahasa Indonesia, please feel free to ask in any of the 2 languages that I speak. So there's a short company presentation. Should I share my screen, or is it?
Yes,
okay.
Bisa. Panitia bisa ya presentasinya, Pak Kevin bisa mendapat tombol itu ya, share ya. Silakan.
Oke. Sorry, bentar.
Maybe you can present yourself from your end, Pak Kevin. Probably you can try.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so present. Okay, so I'll try to keep this fairly brief. Want to spend maybe a little bit more time in Q&A rather than talking about Gojek. I'm pretty happy that I think for most of you in the audience should be at least roughly familiar with what we do. But for those of you who are not, maybe we can just go through a very brief overview around why, what is Gojek, and what, why did we start this company? Gojek was actually started, as you can probably tell from the name, as a company to help the ojek driver. And it actually really started from a very, very simple insight. And that insight was that traffic in Jakarta was really awful. Well, I guess to some extent it continues to be awful. And that there were hundreds of thousands of ojek drivers that were actually not very busy. And so they would be working very long hours, but they would be earning a fairly limited income. So maybe they would only be taking 2, 3, 4, maximum 5 trips a day for many reasons. And one of them was the fact that they weren't seen as trustworthy individuals. And so really the secret sauce, the secret insight that started Gojek was actually that the perception that ojek drivers were not trustworthy was actually wrong. A lot of the behavior, a lot of the things that they were associated with were actually, unfortunately, a necessity of their life. For example, the fact that every time you would go to an ojek driver, you would be quoted a random price, a price that could be cheaper or more expensive depending on the specific driver, depending on the time of day, depending on how you looked, was really not because of any fundamentally untrustworthy character. It was because they didn't have a lot of orders every day, and they had to put food on the table for their family. And so they had to maximize the amount of earnings that they had every trip. And so they had this reputation of being untrustworthy. And again, the secret insight that started Gojek was that these individuals were actually honest, hardworking individuals who were forced to do a lot of things because of circumstance. And so this kind of really began our journey of really looking at the informal sector in Indonesia. So, in addition to having ojek drivers, we also onboarded merchants for our food delivery service, various small SMEs or UMKM. And it really, the common thread between all of these actors and that we've onboarded onto the platform is that they are part of the informal sector, and that the informal sector had these challenges, that they were often very inefficient, they had limited access to customers, and they had limited access to financial services. And when you kind of bring all of this together, this really is this mission statement is really something that we feel is unique to Indonesia, actually, or not unique to Indonesia. Rather, it is something that is our mission is to remove life's daily frictions by connecting consumers to the best providers of goods and services in the market. And this is really a company that could only have been born in Indonesia. It's not I wouldn't say the environment is unique to Indonesia, but it's definitely one of those companies that could only come from a country like ours, where there is a lot of friction on a day-to-day basis, and that oftentimes the best providers of goods and services in the market are not in the formal economy. And as we've proven, actually, some of the best providers of goods and services are actually part of the informal economy. They are the ojek driver. They are the small warung nasi goreng, warung sate di pinggir jalan. Those are the kinds of businesses and services and providers of goods and services that actually are the best in the market, and they need more access through technology. And that's what we do. And when you kind of look at these 20 different services that we've launched over the course of the last 6-7 years, there is this commonality and thread. of really providing the best goods and services, and most likely they're provided by the more informal parts of Indonesian society. And today we are actually not only an Indonesian company. We operate in 4 cities across Southeast Asia. We have 190 million app downloads, 2 million driver partners, and 900,000 food partners, of which 96% are very, very small businesses. So single outlet businesses, not multi-outlet chains like McDonald's or KFC. A lot of people know us as a super app, and those 20 different services I just showed earlier probably is the reason why most people think of us as a consumer-facing super app. But actually, we have 3 distinct products that actually can all be called super apps. And the second super app here is the super app for our drivers, where not only can you take orders, you actually have access to facilities like Swadaya. Swadaya is our brand for a variety of driver services, from access to loans, access to vehicle repair facilities, access to investment products, and many others to kind of help our drivers become more financially independent. And we also have a super app for merchants, where our merchants, mostly GoFood merchants, have access to not only orders from GoFood, but also things like analytics and reporting of their sales, point of sale functionality, so they can actually input their SKUs, manage their inventory, and I would say most importantly, promotions. So today, more than half of our GoFood orders actually have a merchant-funded promotion attached to them. And this is a merchant saying, hey, I want to spend money on the GoFood platform. I'm going to set aside this much budget, and this budget will be used to market to Gojek customers. And we've seen some really, really amazing results from this program, where merchants are spending a significant amount of their budget in marketing and actually getting a very large amount of growth. And this is actually a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big deal because most small businesses, you don't have the sophistication to actually deploy a marketing spend. If you're a big restaurant chain like a KFC or a McDonald's, you have entire teams that do internet online marketing for you. But if you're a small restaurant, you definitely don't. And so by providing this very simple to use, very measurable way that these small businesses can spend money to grow their business, we've really helped push them along and be successful on our platform. And as mentioned earlier, we've actually contributed about 100 trillion rupiah, or about $7 billion in added value to the Indonesian economy. And this actually gives us the biggest point of pride. So, our commission, depending on the business, ranges anywhere between 10 to around 20%. So that means that this large amount of value actually is mostly going to our partners. It's mostly going to our drivers. It's mostly going to our merchant partners. And this is probably the best part about building Gojek. One of the best parts about building Gojek is that that our success of our business is dependent on the success of the millions and millions of other participants in our platform. And we take a lot of pride in this, and this is the reason why many people at Gojek come to work every day. On our driver partners, this has been a particularly challenging time during the COVID period over the last year and a half. Here's just some stats. I think the the summary here is that we do a lot to help ensure that we all get through this period in a way that is in a way where everyone comes out, hopefully, I wouldn't say in a better place, but at least in a place where most livelihoods are maintained. In fact, last year we donated a significant amount of our payroll budget, which means people either took pay cuts or actually gave away their increments or their salary increase for the year in order to help our driver partners, because they were and continue to be the reason why we exist today. And but it is a particularly challenging time, as social distancing rules and generally lower mobility means that people are moving around less, which means less income for our drivers. And this is the same story on merchant partners. And we saw one interesting note here is we saw a huge influx of new merchants during the pandemic. And this is most likely because people are looking for other income earning opportunities. Maybe they were laid off, maybe they had to take a pay cut, and they turned to GoFood to start businesses on GoFood, where they start cooking from their home kitchen, cooking family recipes, things like that. And this is pretty cool because it shows that we help the resilience of individuals in Indonesia and other parts of Southeast Asia when times are tough. When times are tough, we actually offer an outlet for people's more entrepreneurial dreams to start, especially in the F&B sector. Some milestones. I think I think we talk about how we started as a call center in 2010, but I would say that Gojek, as you know it, as most people know it, really started in 2015 when we launched our app and we turned the call center into a technology company in 2015. And it's been a tremendous amount of growth. We've seen a tremendous amount of growth over the past 6-7 years, and but even then, we think that there's still so much more for us to do, especially given our recent merger. I have a video that I am not allowed to play given my access controls, so I will not do that. And then I think that's it. This is our motto. There is always a way. It's a lot better in Indonesian. Our motto in Indonesian is pasti ada jalan. And it really does sum up the ethos of today, but it really is the ethos of Gojek since the very beginning, because it was definitely a very rocky and uncertain journey to get us here, and the path forward is always one that is challenging. Let's put it that way. And with that, I'll wrap up and take any questions you might have.
Thank you, Kevin. You know what I missed the most waktu saya pindah ke Amerika 7 tahun yang lalu? I definitely missed your application. Oh my goodness, it's so simple, paying everything. Oh my goodness, I missed that so much. Thank you so much for your presentation, Pak Kevin. So we're gonna have a Q&A towards the end, Kevin, before 9 o'clock. So we're gonna give the stage now to my friend here, my dear friend Eddie Chan dari Intudo Ventures. Actually, Eddie Chan is very experienced. Is the culprit behind the successes of many startups in Indonesia. Dia mulai tahun 1990-an ya. Dia salah satunya bekerja bersama PayPal. So without further ado, please, the stage is for you, Pak Eddie.
Well, thank you, Bagi-san. So I'm very grateful for the Coaching Indonesia team.
You got 10 minutes, huh, Eddie?
And apologies, I'll do the talk today in English. What do you call it? I'm not that strong in Indonesia. Apologies about that. So Yeah, I really appreciate Pagi-san and the team and Coaching Indonesia team for joining and inviting me to join this, as well as CG Simon, Council General Simon in San Francisco that I've really worked with for the last 4 years, and well as Toshiki on the Indonesian Professional Association. So today, I'll run through a brief presentation that can share a little bit more about, Intudo and how we really work with, a lot of the most talented Indonesians, both in Indonesia as well as abroad here in the United States, and as well as we'll talk a little bit about the various stakeholders and why we're very excited, really thanks to the local heroes like Kevin, like Eka and other friends of ours that really have built up the ecosystem and doing all the hard work. So let me pull up my presentation real quick. Let's see. All right, so Pagi-san, can you see my screen? Sometimes we have some technical difficulties here. Great. Well, yes, so my name's Eddie. Me and my partners run Intudo Ventures, which, we believe to be, one if not the only Indonesia-only independent involved venture capital fund. So we exclusively invest in Indonesian homegrown companies founded by Indonesians. So my background, as Pagi-san mentioned, is I've been a venture capital investor for the last 20 years. As well as a startup founder and CEO here in Silicon Valley, as well as in China, and for the last 5 years, in Indonesia. So really, I'm privileged to work with a lot of the great talent on, on the Zoom call today, as well as great talent in market.
Eddie, sorry to cut you. I think you're displaying the different tab. I think it's not your slide right now.
Shoot. Give me one moment. Sometimes technical difficulties. Give me a second. Hopefully, that's all I just wanted to confirm. Give me a second. Let me try this again. Okay. You see any here? Toshiki, are you able to see the screen or no? Or
yeah, is it the docs and content? Or
that's right.
The slides? Okay. I was not sure if you're presenting the slide. No, not the slides, just the content.
Give me one moment.
Just the dashboard.
Yeah, I know, it's very frustrating. Give me a second. Let's see.
I was not sure if you're trying to show the tab and you're going to open it for one opening or...
Let's see if this works. Okay, give me a second. I see your screen. Sometimes these technical difficulties drive me nuts. Okay, so give me a moment. Let me pull this up. Hopefully this time will work. Let's see.
And just friendly reminder also, so every speaker will have 10 minutes to present as well.
All right, now I'll keep it quick.
Okay, I just want to make sure we get all the speakers and we had plenty of time for Q&As. Thanks, Eddie.
Second.
I've seen your presentations. They're really nice, very powerful. What you guys done. I mean, nobody knows you behind all these successes.
Oh, no. I think that's an overstatement. Give me a second. Okay, great. All right. It looks like it's working. I see the screen. All right, great.
You're good to go, Eddie.
So yeah, let's keep this quick. So, I've been an investor for 20 some years, a founder and CEO in Silicon Valley, as well as in North Asia. And I'm really privileged to work with a lot of the top entrepreneurs in the world, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, Max Levchin, et cetera. In the last 5 years, I've really invested a lot of time in the Indonesia market. Together with my co-founder, Patrick here, who is multi-generation Indonesia, had set up, Goldman Sachs' private equity and venture capital efforts in Indonesia in 2012. So it's Patrick, myself, and our 6 colleagues in market, all of which are multi-generation Indonesian and based in market. I spend about 3 to 4 months a year in Indonesia, and the remaining, call it 7 to 8 months in the year, in the United States, really on university campuses as well as corporate campuses with a lot top Indonesian talent. And with a lot of our capital partners, many of the U.S. friends that are investors in our firm are making their first investments into Indonesia, into wonderful companies like a Gojek or Tani Hub that I'll speak later today. So Intudo, really is embodied off our core values. So this is a firm that we hope can last, multi, funds, if not generations. And we're very privileged across the 6, talented individuals on our team. We've had 0 turnover over the last 5 years. So I think that's very special. It's really a family we built here. So Intudo represents integrity, sincerity, with an appreciation for serendipity. And so that's the core values of the firm of Integritas Tulis Jodo, hence Intudo. And if you look at our logo here, that's really driven off the traditional Batik patterns. It's just a signal of, the effort and time that we put into our businesses. If you think about Intuito, when we launched in 2017, it was really based on hundreds of founder interviews. In fact, some friends of ours that also were other co-founders of Gojek that we've been really fortunate to partner with. And I think there's three core pillars that we wanted to focus on. One is that we noticed many firms were regional, if you will, predominantly anchored in Singapore and flying around 6 or 7 countries. So we sought out to launch what we felt was the first Indonesia-only fund that would exclusively invest in Indonesian homegrown companies founded by Indonesians. And we really supplemented that by being a global firm. So with my presence here in Silicon Valley 9 months a year, and our team's presence in Indonesia, day in, day out, we are maybe one of the only hyper-local and global firm in market. We also noticed that many entrepreneurs were a little bit wary about taking what we call non-independent capital. So at the time, many funds were backed by 1 or 2 major families or a handful of state-owned enterprises. So we sought out to launch the first independent fund in market. Today, we call about 25 of the top 50 to 100 conglomerates in Indonesia, I'll call it investors in our firm, as well as several of the, if you will, unicorns or decacorns or their founders. And we also supplement that with global, where today we have about 25 of the top global venture capital funds invest in our firm, where we act as the Indonesia beachhead strategy. We can talk publicly about one would be Peter Thiel's Founders Fund, which is one of the top VC funds in the world. And lastly, we run a very involved process. That's both before we make an investment and afterwards. In 4 years, in 4.5 years, we've made a grand total of 20 investments. So only about 1 investment a year. So I think that's very differentiated versus most managers that invest across 7 countries and with a very large volume of companies. So if you talk about what we do day in and out, we do 3 things for our companies. We run business development. So we work with a lot of the talent, like the people on the Zoom call today, on helping them go talk to a lot of their customer base in these, call it 25 or so conglomerates, as well as the online unicorns. And we do that in country, regionally, and globally. We also run the follow-on process or corporate finance process. We support a lot of the Indonesian talent as they go back and raise additional capital. So we slot in a lot of the top global capital and in-country capital. And the last piece I think that's very special, that's a little bit more specific today, is really the human resources effort, really this Pulang Kampung program that CG Simone talked about earlier today, where we're very happy to say on campus in Indonesia, we spend quite a lot of time teaching entrepreneurship classes at each of ITB, University of Indonesia, as well as BINUS. And then me personally, Eddie, I spend about 9 months a year on campuses in the United States. So if you look here, a lot of people fail to realize is that, Indonesia may represent 46% of Southeast Asia's population, but really to find a Indonesian is akin to finding a unicorn in America, in that the number of Singaporeans is the same number of Indonesians in America in graduate school. And if you do look at, the companies with a valuation over 100 million, about 30 in Indonesia, I would say 92% of them do have at least one co-founder, like a Eka or like a Kevin, that studied in the United States or abroad. So if you look today, we've really paired a lot of great global, Indonesian talent that got global exposure, as well as Indonesian talent in market that has very strong in-country know-how and built some really incredible founding teams. We've worked with a lot of great talent, like the folks on the Zoom call, and really developing a very long-term relationship. In many cases, working with them for years before, putting them into companies in America or in Indonesia with a very long-term view that if and when they're ready to be a founder, we're that first phone call. So if you look, even companies like a Gojek, where, my partner Patrick went to school with some of the founders in the 90s, had the fortune to be an early investor in the business. So if you look today, I think we came up with this term, Southeast Asia Turtle, that Forbes magazine gave us credit for, as well as Nikkei Asian Review. And if you look at Venture Capital Journal, which may be the most prestigious venture capital magazine, they put us on the cover, the first fund under $1 billion, where we really focus on bringing Indonesian talent and capital into Indonesia. So if you look at schools, for example, let's say Harvard for the last 4 years, we've been the sole sponsor and speaker at all their Asia business conferences, really advocating for the Indonesia, opportunity. Same with Southeast Asia MBA Weekend, same with Duke, same with MIT, all the major programs in both the United States as well as in Indonesia. And today, I'm very excited to say that 1 in 3 of our companies actually is sourced, in America with the Indonesian talent. So I think the special sauce when you talk about our firm is, really the time and effort we put up front. So getting back to, what Toshiki, CG Simone said earlier, is that we spend a lot of time with a lot of the Indonesian talent, whether it be professionals or students, and take a very long-term view. So this really deep relationships really gives us a very large access where we put these people in different opportunities. But once they do want to start a business, it's not that they're very, smart, where they went to a great school, or, they're hardworking. It's a combination of where we actually get to know them and we take them physically to see the customers. and we take them to see the financing partners. We help them build teams before we give them money. It's really kind of a very extensive dating process. And only through that do we show all our goodwill. And if everything checks out, call it 3 months, 6 months, a year, then we kind of arrange that diamond ring and present it to them. And we're hopeful that we then partner as to partner with a investor. Often you're with them for longer than the average marriage in most countries. In the United States, it's 8 years. In Taiwan, it's 8 years. In Indonesia, I believe it's 19 years. So I think the Indonesian people are a little bit more loyal. So I think that's how we work with companies. Once we invest in them, after the fact, we continue supporting them on all those fronts. So today we've been really privileged to build out, a pretty strong portfolio. I would say we do have, the undisputed category winner, or the emerging leader across, all the sectors we operate in. So Tani Hub, which Eka will speak today. Certainly, if you look at insurance, Bazar Police, you look at Bintu, payments and Zendit, Halodoc when it comes to health, cargo and logistics. So it's been really, really exciting. And so in terms of the why, people ask us, like, why do we start this? I think it's really serendipity and also just being in the right place at the right time. I mean, I don't need to talk too much about the macro opportunity in Indonesia, but I can focus a little bit on how we segment the market, in that I think a lot of people say Indonesia is a 300 million person market, but I really think that depends on the type of company. So if you focus on the elites, then that's maybe more like targeted for LVMH, LV. If you think about the middle class, that gets more broad. Most of our companies can tackle the aspirational class. Some of them can actually tackle kind of the poor, which has really been quite challenging. But I'm really grateful to guys like Eka, focusing, on Tani Hub, empowering the farmers. So very few companies are able to tackle the full stack. I think that would be more like a Tani Hub, maybe more like a Gojek. So I think it's very, very exciting. In terms of what we've seen in the market and why we're very encouraged, I think we have to give a lot of folks credit, like CG Simone and the government's done an excellent job, in particular with this omnibus bill. Late last year, we've been following very closely with a country that really understands, appreciates the need to bring in both foreign capital as well as foreign human capital and financial capital into the market, and really, empower that together with local talent, right? So we've been really encouraged about, seeing the government allow companies to start faster, a lot of stronger IP protection, certainly a lot more flexibility for foreign workers, as well as, removing parts of the negative list. So, foreign investment can come in. And so we're seeing that firsthand. If you look, even in Q1 numbers, over year over year, it was dramatically up in terms of FDI. So that was very exciting. And of course, I'm sure many of you have followed this sovereign wealth fund that we've been following very closely on the infrastructure side. I think, President.
Sorry, one more minute, Eddie.
Yep.
Sorry, one more minute.
Yeah, no sweat. So yeah, and then on the infrastructure side, we're really encouraged. Tani Hub will talk later about, the new freeways that have cut the delivery time from farmers for their goods from, call it, from 6-7 days down to 1 day, which has been very special. I think that, the ecosystem has developed very nicely. The product and engineering count in 2017, when we started, maybe only 15 companies at 25 million valuation. In 2019, it became 30. Today, it's 60. And then I think the capital environment, when we started, to be honest, in 2017, very little capital in the market, but now there's many local players, there's many regional players, and all the global players that we partner with. And lastly, I think I'll just touch upon just the exit environment. Really thankful to folks like Kevin and others for really putting Indonesia on the map, as well as C Limited, kind of, et cetera. And, we're very excited by the exit environment. And in light of that, we're seeing even more financial capital in the market. Many of our partners are writing their first tickets into Indonesia. And, we've really been privileged to have the opportunity to kind of shepherd them in and make sure that, they're getting in hopefully the right projects. But I'll hand it back to Pakistan now, but that hopefully gives everyone a little bit flavor on the why now as well.
It's totally understatement, Eddie. You're one of the heroes. I mean, it's nice to see the man behind the gun. I mean, you put up this gentleman into stages, in the global stages. So thank you so much for your hard work. Without further ado, Eddie, thank you so much. And I'd like to handle the stage to Toshiki to introduce Eka.
Thanks, Eddie. Very, very inspiring slides and a lot of data in it. But let's introduce our next speaker, Pamitra Wineka, also usually be called Eka, the co-founder and CEO of Tani Hub. Please, Eka, the floor is yours. And just a reminder that speaker have about 10 minutes to talk about their slides, or if you don't have slides, that's fine too.
Okay, thank you, Toshiki, and also thank you, Baik-san. Let me share my slides. Okay, so actually, I didn't know everyone was doing more of like the company intro. I was asked by Baik-san to actually share more about why am I interested in like doing one of the most unsexy kind of sectors in Indonesia, because you know, agriculture is always identic with you know, poor farmers and uneducated like, you know, farmers, and it's all such a chaos and all that. But one thing that I actually wanted to show is actually, you know, in Indonesia, this is where us as like the US graduates actually have a lot of contribution to, and we could actually kind of mine this gold mine of Indonesia. Okay, next. Okay, next. So just a little brief introduction about me, because probably a lot of people don't know me as they know Kevin, but basically, yeah, I'm the co-founder of Tani Hub. I also kind of helped in Akulaku and also another company called Perdana. So and right now I'm also helping on Akulaku's digital bank. So they transform one of the old military banks into a digital bank using you know, their experience from Ant Financial back in China. So it has been quite a exciting journey for me back, you know, 5 years back, but it all actually was not like this. This was actually all not planned. I was actually more excited to become like an economist actually after graduating. So my lifetime dream was actually just to work as an economist or work you know, at the World Bank and or some kind of like JP Morgan, Goldman as a researcher. So just wanted to share like this was like me on the left side. So actually I turned from this to the one on the right side, where you can see like every day it's t-shirts, shorts, and meeting farmers that time. So this is like quite a change. This was not approved by my parents that time. So I would always say to people that, like I told to Pak Iksan, that the biggest challenge actually doing a startup, especially in agri, is actually convincing your parents that you know, this is something that you really want to do. Because all my parents really wanted me to you know, to do well, to put good use of my education, but in a sector or in kind of a business, in a job that they actually understand. But they did not understand why, you know, they spend so much money putting me to school, sending me to the United States. But then when I come back, you know, I end up like working in the farms. But I actually saw, you know, this has a good opportunity to kind of you know, help farmers, because at that time I was actually still working at the World Bank. I was kind of helping to do a research on access to finance for like the rural areas in Indonesia, and actually access to finance was doing well for people who are doing trading, but not doing well at all for farmers and fishermen. So I thought that, you know, like, oh, you know, these guys are actually the foundation of Indonesia's economy. But, you know, these are the most unluckiest people, and because, you know, they couldn't get loans from banks. And the biggest problem was they could not get access to market, and because they couldn't sell their produce fast enough or at a good price, so they could not return their loans, their debt to the banks, and that's why they're categorized as like the least desirable customers in banks. So I thought that, okay, what if I help them build like a platform to help them sell their produce faster and at a better price, and inform you know, people like my friends who own restaurants. Maybe it would be you know, it would improve their kind of income, because they can sell at a higher price and they can sell much faster. And that's kind of like how Tani Hub started. To be honest, like we kind of struggled in the first 2 years. So I did, I came back from the United States, with a proper job, and I was not a cost center again for my parents. But then I ended up like going back as a cost center, so I had to rely on their support until like the first 2 years, until we got our first investment. But with persistence, and like we knew that what we were doing actually gives a huge impact to these farmers. So we kept doing it, and we had confidence and about this sector. So we continue to grow, and like right now, we're a team of 540 right now. We have quite one of the most sophisticated logistics system for fresh produce in Indonesia. Our facilities are actually quite large, almost like 15,000 meters square per facility, and we have around 6 of them across Java and Bali. So things have been quite exciting for us in the past 5 years. And what I wanted to share, what Pak Iksan asked me to share in Coaching Indonesia is like how could you take a leap of faith from having a stable job, having like having this mindset that, oh yeah, I want to work for these big companies, to like actually trying to build your own business, or even help like an existing startup in Indonesia that's actually doing quite an impactful work. Because the Indonesian economy is quite big, and there's a lot of sectors here. We're actually blessed with a lot of problems, quote unquote, because these problems actually are doors to new opportunities that we can establish. We can become like the next like Gojek or whatever, so that we can help Indonesia, but also create something awesome. So like why we started Tani Hub, but yeah, it's basically food has been the basic needs of everyone, and as the population increases, the production of crops also need to increase. But the funny thing is, for this 20% increase in population, 20 to 25, we actually need double the production of the crops needed. Why? Because as people's income improves, their diet also changes. So when they start having more animal protein, these animals, they need to consume more crops for their animal feed. So that's why global production in crops must increase by double if we are to be able to feed everyone in 2050. And Indonesia, we are a big nation, and agriculture is actually our 3rd largest contributor to GDP. It's actually very not so far away from wholesale. Yet Indonesia, with a huge population, but we are not we cannot sustain the food production. We don't have enough food to actually feed our own people. So as you can see in the export and import, we actually import more than we export. And estate crops is actually like rubber, chocolate, coffee. So you can actually take this away, because this is not actually food for us. So if we don't intervene or don't help this sector, Indonesia is going to be forever dependent on imports, and this would be actually not so good for Indonesia, since food can be a weapon actually, because when there's no food, when food is scarce, people, get angry and they'll go on the streets and all that. So this is why the government of Indonesia right now, they're actually focusing a lot on what's called food security. And this is why we think, okay, this is why like Tani Hub is actually really excited to tackle this, and we're actually really happy to have have the opportunity to be one of the startups in Indonesia focusing on this sector. So what we're doing in general is basically trying to simplify the whole agriculture supply chain process. Because as you probably are aware, all these 92% of Indonesian farmers are actually smallholder farmers. So this is 92% out of 33 million people. These are smallholder farmers that don't have access to direct market. They go to middlemen, and usually the chain goes up to like nine what's it called again? Yeah, 9 levels. And this is why there's a lot of waste. So almost 50% of the food produced is actually goes to waste. And these farmers actually, the ones who are actually producing it and wait for months to actually harvest, receive the lowest margin out of the entire chain. So we actually wanted to improve this so we can kind of shorten the entire process. And what Eddie was mentioning, that usually from farm to customer it takes 5 to 7 days, but now it can take for us since Tani Hub kind of helps, we actually can shorten it to 1 or 2 days from the farm to the customer. So why are we most of the most common question investors ask us is like, why do you have to do all 3 entities? Like we have Tani Fund that's doing the financing for the farmers. We have Tani Supply that's doing all of the supply chain management and logistics for from farm to customer, and we have Tani Hub that's the platform to basically aggregate the demand side. And this is the reason why we have to do like from upstream to downstream is because we understand that the agriculture sector has to be a total whole solution. Because these are fresh produced, these are actually very delicate products that can go to waste. And if it's not handled fast, then then you'll have a lot of waste and inefficiency. And if you don't help farmers in getting access to funding, they cannot buy the good quality seeds and other inputs. So that the solution for governments always to open new land, cut forest, open new farmland. Meanwhile, the existing land is never efficient. Why? Because they never get the good quality seeds and fertilizers. In fact, once we change the seeds, the inputs of one farmer that has 1 hectare, the production, the yields, and also the quality of the harvest, actually, the yields doubled, and the quality of produce, increased from only 20 to 30% grade A to 80% grade A, which actually means like the whole, with the increase in yield and also grade, the income of the farmer actually increased 3 times, because grade A is actually double the price of grade C. So that's why, improving like from the input side, from the production side, and improving like the process to the customer increases the income of the farmer and also helps reduce the cost for the buyer. So that's why Tani Hub is actually doing quite a lot, but we understand that this is key, and this is something that even though a lot of people don't like it, a lot of investors don't like this kind of business because it's too complicated. But we think that this is the most impactful way of helping the Indonesian economy. So yeah, some few takeaways, for those who are in the United States looking towards like opening their own business or doing their own startup, or like just looking around and seeing if what they can do. So for those who are ready, Indonesia, in my opinion, it's a gold mine of problems, but you read it as not problems. So you have to start reading problems as opportunities. And there's a lot of investors actually interested in investing in Indonesia, like Eddie. Like Eddie's from the Bay Area, but his VC is Indonesia only. So actually, there's a lot of these VCs too. Hopefully, you'll get to work with like amazing VCs like Intudo. I love Intudo, by the way. They're one of our best investors. And one thing that's probably not popular is I always say, love your parents, but don't listen to them, because if I listened to my parents, I would never have done it, because parents they tend to want to make sure that you're okay, but they actually don't want you to take risk, and that means like you can't do anything revolutionary, or you can't do anything new, because you have to do things that they understand. So yeah, and for those who are interested to build their own company or come back to Indonesia, but they're not ready. Sorry, they're interested, yeah, but they're not ready to do it by themselves because of the risk. Well, first of all, you can test the water. Like you can work, try to work or collaborate with Indonesian startups, or you can try, move back to Indonesia and see like how the condition is, because I don't believe that like solutions from abroad can be 100% like brought to Indonesia and implemented. I think there's a lot of local wisdom here. Second thing is early growth stage startups can actually give you not just experience, but also some kind of level of security and potential top dollar upside. What does that mean? So companies that are in their Series A, B, they're still they're still new, but they're in a growth stage where actually if you join, especially on the third point, so international locals have broader opportunities. So people who have American education or have exposure to working in the United States or internationally tend to to be popular here. So if you join a company that's Series A, Series B, then your experience is valuable to them, and you don't need to. You can learn the local wisdom while working with these companies. And when you join these companies, they usually give you like a good chunk of ESOP that potentially can grow like 3 to 10x, depending on the company. And you don't need to take a risk. And the company is also quite stable since it's already got funding. It's a Series A and Series B. And probably after exiting the company 4 years later, you have capital and also the experience, and then you can start your own company. So that's kind of like my insights for everyone. Hopefully it's useful.
Thank you so
please
much.
Connect to our social media. And also wanted to Kevin has with Gojek has their own tagline. We have our own tagline too, so it's keep planting, keep growing.
Thank you so much. That's cute.
Okay.
That's cute, Eka. And one of the questions actually already popped out, and I think teman-teman yang pasti banyak pertanyaan, silahkan connect dengan beliau-beliau ini. They're very humble, they're willing to connect with you. Nanti ada yang mau connect sama Pak Eka, katanya dia mau startup like local business, kemudian mungkin jual ke Tanihub atau minta tolong ke Tanihub untuk dipasarkan. So great idea Bapak yang menanyakan tadi, silahkan dilanjutkan usahanya. Without further ado, I think Toshiki, who is our next speaker?
Our next speaker is going to be Al Falak Arsendatama from Coaching Indonesia. So he is the founder of Coaching Indonesia.
Great.
Thank you, Pak Iksan. Thank you, Pak Toshiki. Okay.
Few minutes. Few minutes.
This has been a difficult contemplation for me because usually it takes 5 days to present around authenticity, but this is going to be done in 15 minutes at the max. Dan saya akan bawakan ini dalam bahasa Indonesia karena memang kita sebagian besar audiens dalam bahasa Indonesia. Dan ini kita akan bicara tentang authenticity. Jadi rekan-rekan yang ada di sini, saya akan mengajak melakukan perjalanan singkat ke domain transformational coaching terkait dengan authenticity. Dan kenapa authenticity ini menjadi kunci dari entrepreneurial success. Atau bahkan juga kunci bagi kita yang ingin selalu continually develop and grow di karir, di dunia personal development, dan juga di wellness dan segala macam. Dan kita di sini juga banyak rekan-rekan coach yang juga menginspirasi kami di Coaching Indonesia untuk membuat startup, yaitu Vice Coach, di mana semua orang bisa mencari coach dengan satu sentuhan jari. Dan kalau kita bicara tentang authenticity, Anda lakukan search di Google dan Anda akan menemui lebih dari 200 juta halaman yang bicara tentang authenticity di seputar spirituality, kemudian juga bisnis, branding, marketing. Ada istilah tentang brand authenticity. Dan ada 4 juta workshop yang menawarkan tentang how to be yourself, how to be your authentic self, how to be who you are. Dan menariknya, jadi saya berpikir apakah kita punya masalah sampai kita harus mencari di Google dan menemui 200 juta halaman dan ditawarkan 4 juta workshop hanya untuk mengenal diri kita, who are we, dan juga kalau kita punya tujuan untuk membangun bisnis misalnya, ya, apakah kita harus tahu sebetulnya siapa sesungguhnya kita yang akan berbisnis itu? Dan ini yang kemudian juga mendorong saya untuk melakukan research lebih jauh. Selama 5 tahun terakhir saya menemukan kunci kesuksesan, apakah ini seorang leader, entrepreneur, ataupun juga individu yang memang ingin develop dan menciptakan impact. 9 dari 10 di antaranya selalu mengalami kesulitan dan kemudian berhenti. Tetapi satu orang yang terus pursue, dan satu orang ini dia menemukan keautentikan dirinya. Authenticity atau dalam bahasa Indonesianya otentisitas atau keautentikan ini kalau kita telusuri sebetulnya asal-muasalnya dari kata Yunani, yaitu authentikos, yang artinya original, genuine, not a copy, asli, ya, apa adanya. Dan ini adalah definisi yang kemudian dikembangkan oleh psikologis modern seperti Abraham Maslow, kemudian juga Carl Rogers, yang mereka semua bergerak di domain human potential development. Dan ketika saya dig in lagi, ya, definisi dari mereka-mereka itu semua, ternyata yang namanya authenticity itu ada hubungannya dengan self-actualization atau self-expression, di mana seseorang mengekspresikan dirinya fully at his or her potential. Dan orang yang mampu self-actualize atau self-express ini hanyalah mereka-mereka yang juga mampu menjadi self-master bagi dirinya. Mereka adalah orang-orang yang sudah menaklukkan self-mastery. Ya, self-mastery itu kemampuan untuk being congruent antara pikiran, hati, dan juga tindakan. Semuanya selaras. Dan ketika saya dig in lagi, orang-orang yang mampu menjadi self-master bagi dirinya adalah orang-orang yang self-aware tentang siapa dirinya. Nah, ini yang menjadi penting, karena di Hari Kebangkitan Nasional ini kita ingin awaken who we are from our authenticity. Bukan membangkitkan diri kita yang palsu atau diri kita yang kita sendiri nggak tahu, karena banyak sekali informasi yang beredar di media sosial, dan ketika kita posting satu foto misalnya nggak dapat like, dan kemudian kita merasa not good enough, dan kemudian coba lagi, dan sekarang mulai dapat like dan mulai nambah kepercayaan diri. Tapi apakah ya diri kita ini ditentukan oleh persepsi orang lain? Nah, disinilah saya ingin mengajak rekan-rekan untuk masuk ke domain transformational coaching, sehingga kita tahu pengambilan keputusan, kemudian juga tindakan dan pilihan yang kemudian kita jalani, ini memang berangkat dari who we are, the self-awareness yang kemudian memasterkan pilihan dan tindakan kita untuk kemudian mengekspresikan fully at our fullest potential. Dan kalau definisi ini kemudian dibikin sederhana, ya, apa itu authenticity, kita akan menemui satu definisi tentang staying true to yourself. Jadi sederhananya, saying what you mean, meaning what you say. Apa yang Anda katakan, itu memang apa yang Anda niatkan. Tapi kemudian saya mengalami problema di sini. Kenapa? Karena tidak semua yang kita katakan itu merupakan hasil dari pengolahan pikiran atau niat kita yang sesungguhnya. Kadang-kadang kita hanya mengatakan sesuatu karena bereaksi terhadap keadaan yang tiba-tiba muncul. Dan lantas saya tambahkan satu definisi lagi bahwa untuk staying true to yourself, you have to be congruent. Between your head, your heart, and your hand. Antara apa yang Anda pikirkan, apa yang Anda rasakan, dan apa yang Anda lakukan. Tapi ini pun menyimpan problema, teman-teman. Kita bisa kongruen di pagi hari ketika kita bangun dan melihat sinar matahari, jalan-jalan, menikmati indahnya dan segarnya suasana di pagi hari itu, damai di pikiran. Dan saya praktis ini setiap hari. Tapi kemudian juga saya mengamati ketika saya selesai mandi, saya breakfast, dan kemudian saya mulai pergi ke kantor. Kita di sini nggak WFH fully dalam 1 minggu ya. Saya ada di balik kemudi dan di situ mulai terganggu karena mulai ada motor, mulai ada metro mini berhenti, kemudian juga ada angkot yang tiba-tiba parkir ya, agak-agak ngambil jalan dan mulai di sini ada komentar-komentar dan beberapa driver yang lain mulai mengumpat. Jadi nggak damai ya, kongruensi yang dibangun di pagi hari hilang begitu saja. Jadi ini pun menyimpan problem, ada dilema di sini. Seberapa konsisten kita bisa kongruen. Dan saya tambahkan satu definisi lagi kalau kayak gitu. Be open in every moment. Seeing any possibilities and adapt to it. Sehingga kita bisa menavigasi hidup ini nggak rigid. Dan selalu pick up new information. Dan di bisnis, ini merupakan satu requirement di mana kita be open untuk melihat possibility-possibility yang muncul di market. Dan ketika pandemi menerpa misalnya ya, gimana kita bisa open terhadap perubahan consumer behavior. Dan di bisnis inilah yang kemudian kita namakan sebagai lifelong learning. Authenticity merupakan satu perjalanan pembelajaran about yourself, about your customer, about your product. Dan setiap bisnis, terutama startup, selalu ditanya satu pertanyaan, who are your customers? Kalau kita mau kemudian masuk ke journey authenticity, kita pun ingin mengajukan satu pertanyaan follow up. Who are you for your customers? Karena itulah yang menentukan nantinya value proposition dari produk yang mereka develop. Dan bahkan definisi customer sekalipun, itu bukan hanya pembeli. Kalau Anda adalah seorang startup, owner dari bisnis itu, your customers are your team as well. Your customers are your family as well. Jangan sampai nanti, saya pernah ketemu dengan satu klien bisnis yang awalnya dia sangat-sangat ya bisa dibilang ya true to himself. Tapi seiring dengan bisnisnya tumbuh, orang-orang pada mulai resign. Kenapa? Dia yang sudah mulai demanding, dia yang micromanaging segala macam. Sementara dia mengatakan bahwa customers adalah raja. Tapi dia tidak memperlakukan customers yang sesungguhnya, yaitu timnya, sebagai orang yang dia sendiri harus serve. Tapi kemudian journey authenticity membantu dia untuk menemukan siapa customer dia yang sesungguhnya. Dan kalau ini kita bikin menjadi satu model, yaitu transformational coaching, saya membuatnya cukup sederhana. Jadi untuk kita masuk ke journey authenticity yang merupakan lifelong learning, ya, yang sifatnya tidak definitif atau fix, tetapi selalu expand dan berkembang, kita gunakan model 4 I's of transformational coaching, yang merupakan satu model untuk merefine kembali siapa diri kita yang selalu berkembang ini, yang diawali dengan I am, who I am for myself, who I am for my family, who I am for my business, who I am for my customers, who I am. Dilanjutkan dengan intention. Dari definisi diri ini kemudian apa yang kemudian mendorong kita untuk create something. Dan latihan, bereksperimen dengan intensity, jadi nggak cuma nyoba sekali kemudian gagal dan kemudian berhenti. Dan integrate all the learning menjadi sebuah makna yang kemudian memperkaya kembali definisi I am-nya. Karena authenticity itu sifatnya tidak rigid atau fix, tetapi selalu berkembang dari pengalaman pembelajaran. Dan inilah journey yang terus evolve dari waktu ke waktu. Dimulai dari definisi I am, ya, the who, orangnya, bukan produknya, bukan customernya, bukan apa yang dia lakukan, tetapi dianya siapa, kongruen dengan aspek dari diri yang memang ingin selalu expand. Dan kalau kita mengatakan bahwa bisnis susah, kita sudah tidak kongruen juga dengan I am-nya. Kita sudah melimit kapasitas diri yang memang sebetulnya masih bisa berkembang terus-menerus. Kemudian follow up dengan intention, the why. Dan ada yang sedikit tricky di sini. The why itu tidak langsung bergerak ke purpose. Tetapi the why yang menstate what kind of experience that you are willing to receive. Kalau orang ingin membuka startup, orang ingin menjadi coach misalnya ya, experience apa yang Anda ingin alami di proses pembelajaran itu. Karena di sini ya tidak semuanya langsung kemudian berhasil. Ada experience of failures, experience of dealing with complexities, experience of getting stuck, frustrated, segala macam. Are you willing to experience all of those? Nah, di sini yang kita mau state in our intention. Intensity kemudian put down strategi untuk experience itu semua dalam satu purposeful action and be open to any possibilities. Dan itu nggak cuma cukup berhenti sekali, terus menerus, sampai akhirnya kita integrate learning kita menjadi satu pembelajaran yang memperkaya definisi I am lagi. Nah, inilah yang kemudian menjadi journey entrepreneurial. Atau juga journey kita sebagai seseorang yang ingin selalu continually develop. Sebagai leader, sebagai manager, sebagai parent, sebagai siapapun yang memang ingin expand dari definisi kita tentang authenticity yang selalu berkembang. Dan saya hanya ingin sekilas, saya memberikan contoh tentang I am, intention, kemudian intensity dan juga integration di kasus bersama dengan klien saya. Seseorang yang punya startup yang sudah cukup sukses, sekitar 5 tahun mereka bergerak dan tahun lalu kami sign up untuk satu program coaching. Dia adalah CEO yang akan expand bisnisnya ke Asia Tenggara. Dan ketika sesi coaching dimulai, dia bilang bahwa semuanya itu berawal dari ambisi segala macam. Tapi saat itu dia merasa di dalam dilema, karena justru ketika bisnisnya mau expand, orang-orang mulai resign, mulai takut, dan mulai tercerai-berai. Dan dia pun mengalami krisis. Kenapa semua C-level saya sekarang jadi silo ketika kita justru mau expand? Dan singkatnya, ketika kami melakukan eksplorasi dan saya mengajukan satu pertanyaan begini, who do you choose to be in your journey of expansion? Dan dia kemudian mengatakan berkali-kali sampai akhirnya ada satu jawaban yang betul-betul punya power, yaitu dia mengatakan bahwa I want to be a leader who leads by example. Di situ dia choose to be a leader who lead by example. Dan saya challenge, sebetulnya lu itu Mas, teridentifikasi dengan siapa sampai bisa ngomong kayak gitu? Who are you listening to? Seperti tadi ya, Mas Eka bilang, ya parents itu orang yang kita cintai, tapi jangan selalu didengarkan. Kadang-kadang ada orang yang memulai bisnis karena dia trauma pada masa kecil dan ingin membuktikan, dan ini yang mau kita transform terlebih dahulu. Dan dia mengidentifikasikan dirinya itu dengan seseorang yang mau create impact. Nah, kemudian intensinya apa? Intensinya adalah dia ingin experience journey dari fluktuasi, journey dari dia dealing dengan complexity, termasuk mengkonsolidasikan orang-orang. Dan dia punya purpose bahwa semua orang yang bekerja di perusahaan itu nanti akan dapat saham. Itu artinya dia sukses ya sebagai individu dan orang-orang pun ikut sukses bersama dengan dirinya. Dan disinilah kemudian dia melakukan banyak sekali percobaan, dia observe market seperti apa di Indonesia, di Malaysia, di Thailand, dan segala macam. Dia noticing what is different. Dan kemudian dia pick up lagi sebagai satu learning experience untuk adapt dan adjust. Dan dari situ kemudian progresnya sangat-sangat luar biasa. Hari ini saya baru selesai sesi coaching kemarin ya, dia sudah expand ke 3 negara. Dan semua karyawan di perusahaan itu sekarang dapat saham. Dan C-level yang tadinya silo, sekarang bisa ngomong ya satu dengan yang lain, dan terutama klien saya yang ini, itu mulai dia mendemonstrate leading by example. Dan ketika saya cek ke semua C-levelnya, ya si CEO saya ini sekarang sudah berubah. Dan dia menjadi orang yang berbeda. Dan disinilah sebetulnya seorang startup owner bergerak dari authenticity-nya. Bukan cuma sekedar mau ekspansi dari sisi produk dan market, tetapi juga dirinya yang juga expand di dalam journey mengakuisisi market dan produk yang baru itu. Dan ini yang lantas menjadi the core of the core ya. Jadi definisi dari I am, who are you? In your journey, what are you willing to experience itu menjadi intention, dan kemudian what kind of actions that you are willing to do. Termasuk ketika menemui kegagalan, ada delay in success. Ketika menemui satu obstacle, what are you going to learn? Integrate semua learning itu untuk memperkaya lagi diri Anda yang memang bergerak, selalu expand. Jadi kalau kita dalami ya di domain transformational coaching ini, ternyata kita menemukan bahwa kita semua bisa berkembang, kita semua bisa bergerak ke arah yang lebih baik karena human nature itu selalu memang ingin expand. Ketika kita melimit diri kita dengan mengatakan susah, I'm not good enough, disitulah kemudian kita justru tidak kongruen dengan authenticity kita yang selalu memang ingin berkembang. Ketika kita punya ide dan kita menahannya untuk kemudian menunggu, ya mungkin orang lain mulai duluan deh gitu. Disitulah kemudian kita membetray aspek dari diri kita yang memang aspiratif. Jadi coaching bergerak pada ujungnya itu di domain transformasional. Sehingga semua orang punya potensi untuk create something. Dan juga becoming a new version of themselves. Dan disitulah kemudian kami punya tagline, everyone needs a coach. Karena kadang-kadang kita bisa melakukan pergerakan itu sendirian, tetapi ketika kita menemui hambatan, kita tidak punya orang untuk diajak bicara dan kemudian mensupport journey kita itu. Dan saya ingin mengakhiri presentasi ini ya dengan satu quote yang saya buat sendiri bahwa living with authenticity means realizing bit by bit of who you truly are. Karena kita nggak tahu ya siapa sesungguhnya yang kita identify ini dan kenapa kita tidak coba temukan aspek dari diri kita yang lebih besar daripada apa yang selama ini kita duga. Dan ketika kita ekspresikan fully dengan satu strategi, entah limit apa yang kemudian kita temui, ya itu semua nanti mampu di breakthrough, seperti yang Bruce Lee bilang. Awalnya dia mengatakan begini, saya tidak bisa mukul, maka saya belajar mukul. Dan setelah saya mukul berkali-kali, saya tidak perlu lagi memukul. Dia menjadi authentic self, di mana dia melalui proses learning sampai akhirnya dia menemukan ternyata saya nggak perlu ngapa-ngapain kok, ya. Saya tidak perlu berantem juga. Padahal awalnya dia pengen bisa berantem dan ketika dia sudah bisa menjadi master dari martial art, dia sudah tidak perlu lagi berantem. Authenticity adalah journey seperti itu. Kita tidak coba rasakan bagaimana kegagalan itu, tetapi kita nikmati bagaimana pembelajaran yang kita peroleh dari kegagalan. Sehingga kita tiba di satu outcome yang bahkan kita tidak pernah duga sebelumnya. Terima kasih Pak Iksan, saya kembalikan kepada Anda.
Terima kasih Mas Al. Sebelumnya nih kita lanjut Toshiki. Tadi menarik sekali ya, Bruce Lee dikutip, itu Bruce Lee pahlawan saya waktu SMP Mas Al. Kelihatan banget beda umurnya. Oke, Toshiki, belum kita lanjut, kita mau foto-foto dulu nih. Silakan Mbak Lina mau dipimpin ya. There are a few questions for you, Eddie and Eka, and actually Kevin sudah meninggalkan kita ya. So perhaps teman-teman bisa ke LinkedIn, connect dengan Kevin dan bisa tanya di situ. Silakan Mbak Lina, katanya mau foto-foto dulu ya dari Coaching Indonesia.
Baik, sekarang kita akan take a picture. Teman-teman silakan untuk buka videonya karena kita akan foto bersama. Ini ada 6 halaman. Oke. Sudah buka video semua. Saya akan mulai halaman pertama. Hai, tahan, halaman kedua. Halaman ketiga. Halaman keempat, boleh bergaya, boleh dibuka videonya. Dan halaman kelima. Terakhir, halaman ke-6. Baik, terima kasih.
Thank you, Mbak Lina. All right, Toshiki, you got question. I got question actually for Eka first, perhaps ya. Tadi yang mau bikin usaha itu di Kuningan katanya, Iwan Priyatna. So good luck, Pak. dia mau buka usaha katanya Eka untuk mensupport untuk mungkin jualannya nanti lewat Tani Hub gitu biar diekspor. Nah, ini dari Lendi Irawan menanyakan waktu dulu mungkin sampai sekarang ya. Itu kan di Indonesia zaman dulu tuh banyak ijon ya. Itu mafia ijon ngadapinnya gimana itu? Pak Eka, silahkan.
Okay, so the question is about middlemen, like, and how is their reaction towards like our presence. So to be honest, I think there hasn't been such a like pushback like what Gojek has experienced during their early days. Mostly it's because the farmers have the farmers are more than the pengijon. So for every one middleman, there's actually 30 to 50 other farmers. So when the farmers feel like they have been helped, they found a lot of added value. And if one of these middlemen are is pissed and tries to break our relationship with the farmers actually fight back for us. So far it hasn't been such a big issue.
All right, thank you, Pak Eka. How about you, Toshiki? You got some questions from the participants? Sorry guys, ini karena banyak pertanyaan nih, kita coba summarize. If we cannot capture all of you guys, please connect with the speakers through LinkedIn. Go ahead, Toshiki.
Yes, I think there's one question for Eddie from Intudo about the first one is type of startup that you could work with. So I guess this person is asking about the fields, I think, what kind of fields. And the second one is actually what's basically how many percentage Intudo takes from that funding, I think, to summarize.
No, those are two really fair questions, and we run a very above board operation. So first off, with respect to sector, I think we have a fair amount of flexibility, and the rationale is that we exclusively invest in Indonesian homegrown businesses founded by Indonesians. So if you look at the total opportunity set in Indonesia as of today, there's only about 60-some companies with a valuation over $25 million. So because that we're so narrow as to geography, as well as to stage, as really an early stage investor focused at Series A, opportunistically we look at pre-A once in a while or Series Bs. We have to be a little bit more flexible in sector, otherwise we'd have no deals to do. So I would say broadly speaking, we invest in agriculture, we invest in new retail and entertainment, financial services, logistics, healthcare, B2B and enterprise. So it's fairly broad. I will say though, if you are a very early stage business, let's say a founder starting a new business, we have a strong preference for businesses that have a strong technical piece to it, or more B2B heavy, if you will. As on the consumer side, we feel if it's a lightweight business that can just be built overnight, the defensibility makes us a little bit nervous. So we're very focused at early stage on heavy B2B businesses that have very nice, if you will, regulatory moats or technical moats. So it could be genetics, it could be cryptocurrency. In fact, we just announced one of the deals I'm most excited by, Bintu, this morning, where we have a regulatory moat to operate a cryptocurrency exchange and market. When we backed that business when Bitcoin was $3,000, it had crashed from 20,000 down to 3,000. So when it's an early stage business, we have a strong preference for very niche businesses with founders with very strong, founder market fit, like an Eka that came out of the World Bank. And the second question as to ownership, obviously, I think that given we run a very small portfolio, in the 4.5 years we've invested in a grand total of 22 companies. Any company that we put money with, we definitely like to put substantial money with them and take core ownership so that we can put the time into it. So it really depends on the stage of business. I would say broadly speaking, if it's a very early stage business, call it a pre-A, we do about 1 to 2 of those a year. Generally, we're seeking, call it 17.5 to 22.5% ownership for obviously a check size that's commensurate for that. At Series A, generally 15 to 20%, on a fully diluted basis. And at Series B, when we're investing in what we call category winners, like a Tani Hub or then it's a little bit more flexible from an ownership perspective.
Thank you for all the answers, Eddie. That's very clear. I think if you want to start something, just start it and then try to pitch it to Eddie. That's probably the best way to do it.
No, I would say that,
if Eddie support it or not.
Yeah, come find us early on in the process as you ideate. You know, I've really been privileged to spend many time and years with a lot of friends like Toshiki and others. I'm very hopeful one day, you know, I'm his first phone call.
So I think a lot of questions for Eka. Actually, Eka, you're very famous today. We have so many questions for you. I think I'll just try to summarize from everything. A lot of people asking about advice, challenges, also they want to start a startup, like how to start it. So I'll probably just summarize it and rephrase it to this question. What did you do to get your first, let's say 10 or 20 customers?
Well, basically, you just have to understand that, you know, the entire business, and before, you know, ideas are always nice to know, like, but which ideas actually work, you know, you have to experience it yourself. So, you know, getting customers is easy if you already have a solid like business plan. I think, you know, if you're actually you have a solution to a problem, I think you'll have users anyway, you know. Like, so if you have a solution but then you're looking for a problem, then that might be you know, that might have some challenges. So that's the only takeaway I have here.
Okay, if I can, thank you Eka for the answers. Eddie, perhaps this last question untuk Mas Al nih. Mungkin sekaligus Mas Al diantar nih di grup coaching akan terjadi apa? Yaitu ada yang menanyakan di sini, cocok nggak sih sama budaya Indonesia? Being authentic itu kan berarti berani tampil beda ya, be yourself gitu. Kan budaya kita nggak seperti itu. Gimana nih Mas Al? Di speaker.
Ya, budaya kita memang has been set up to keep us in safety, karena kita memang hidup di tribal environment ya dari dulu. Jadi kita ingin semuanya tuh safe dan certain dan juga comfort dan convenient. Dan ini yang di-maintain selama berabad-abad, dan ketika disruption terjadi, arus digitalisasi kemudian juga terekspos, dan disitulah sebetulnya budaya kita yang justru ingin adapt dan adjust. Sehingga kita tidak hanya berada di dalam safety zone, tetapi juga taking the risk. Taking the unknown and uncertain journey, karena semuanya serba nggak pasti, dan disitulah sebetulnya yang dimaksud dengan jadi memang harus ada breakthrough di cultural conditioning yang ada di mindset kita, dan itu semua juga masih bisa dilakukan secara safe kok, karena selalu ada perhitungan-perhitungan dan kalkulasi, analisis. Kalau kita mau melakukan sesuatu, itu dianjurkan, baik itu di bisnis, di karir, di personal growth, dan macam-macam. Itu Pak Iksan.
Thank you Mas Ali, banyak sebenarnya pertanyaannya, tapi teman-teman kayaknya nanti bakal kejawab di grup coaching ya, acara yang akan segera dilangsungkan. Sementara thank you so much for speakers, Pak Eka, Pak Edi, Pak Al, dan Toshiki, please guide through to the VIP room, this gentleman, and with KJRI San Francisco juga, they will be there. Having a chat with you guys, and for the rest of you, untuk peserta-peserta lain, teman-teman, Bapak dan Ibu, kita akan masuk dibagi sesuai dengan pilihannya, business coaching, career coaching, dan personal growth coaching. Tolong ditampilkan bagi yang belum, PC, BC, tanda minus, kemudian nama, sesuai dengan pilihannya. Kalau personal growth, PC ya, business growth, business coaching, BC, dan kemudian career coaching, CC. Oke, ada hal lain lagi Toshiki yang perlu kita ingat sebelum, oh iya, jam 10 waktu Indonesia, jam 8 waktu Amerika ya, pantai barat, kita akan bertemu kembali untuk wrap up acara kita ini. Dan e-sertifikat yang seperti disampaikan akan disediakan bagi teman-teman yang mengikuti acara ini sampai penuh. Anything else I missed, Toshiki?
No, I think you got everything perfect.
Alright, so teman-teman sampai jumpa nanti bersama kembali di main room jam 8 jam 7 waktu Amerika. Jam berapa ya waktu Amerika? Jam 8 waktu Amerika.
8. Jam 8
10 waktu
Pasifik waktu
Indonesia.
Amerika, 10 waktu Indonesia Barat.
Yes. Alright, silakan panitia.
Learning style atau gaya belajar mengalami perubahan fenomenal di 1 tahun terakhir ini akibat adanya disrupsi di dunia teknologi dan juga krisis akibat pandemi yang kemudian dalam tanda petik memaksa orang-orang untuk mengubah gaya belajarnya menjadi online. Dan ini merupakan tren positif yang kami di Coaching Indonesia menyambutnya dengan gembira. Kami berkesempatan untuk membangun platform teknologi yang memungkinkan orang bisa belajar dari mana saja. Dan ditambah dengan interaksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach yang membuat teman-teman yang sedang belajar ini seolah-olah berada di kelas. Namun juga mendapatkan tambahan-tambahan fitur seperti quiz, assessment, jejak pendapat, dan juga paket-paket entertainment yang kemudian dikemas untuk mempercepat proses pembelajaran. Dan ini memungkinkan kami untuk juga menjangkau kalangan yang lebih luas di Indonesia. Kalangan pemerintahan, kalangan swasta, guru, mahasiswa, pebisnis, semuanya memiliki akses yang sama. Dari manapun, kapanpun, semuanya bisa menggunakan teknologi ini hanya dengan memindahkan jari-jari tangan dan kemudian berinteraksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach yang ada di Coaching Indonesia.
Isn't it beautiful? How our destinies have become intertwined. Once underdogs, we've gone so far.
Transforming the Indonesian technology industry, providing accessible daily solutions,
and democratizing commerce through technology, fulfilling one shared mission of doing good for all. But how far can we go?
For that very question, we've decided to come together to be stronger.
Adopting gotong royong, the Indonesian spirit of working together, to extend the opportunity for a better life to everyone. Made possible by a team of challengers, passionate for a greater impact.
We are local pioneers, ready to shape the global world. To democratize opportunity, to uplift everyone by giving them an equal chance to thrive.
Gojek and Tokopedia introducing the power of togetherness. Go to, go far, go together.
kita kan terutama di hutan itu biasanya di modal sama pemasaran.
Kita ada semangat baru. Kita nggak takut lagi harus jual kemana sih hasil kerja kita. Selain kita dikasih pembiayaan, modal pembiayaan untuk budidaya, dikasih juga jaminan pasarnya dan kontrak harga.
Biar petani bisa lebih maju.
Samping itu kita juga ingin saling membantu.
Welcome to Visa Coach, the first coaching mobile app in Indonesia. Let's get started. Elevate your knowledge and skills in various coaching programs. Accelerate your growth in career, business, and life. Enjoy exclusive content via the app. Check out our videos, podcasts, articles, and tools. Find specialized coaches from 8 coaching categories. Get to know your coaches from their profiles and professional experiences. Get your Visa Coach account now by simply signing up with your email address. Fill in your profile professionally. Choose the goal that you want to achieve and find a coach to help you succeed on your journey towards the goal. Manage your coaching session easily by scheduling, tracking, and updating progress like never before. Rate your coach by adding stars and comments about your session. Download Visa Coach now for free, available on App Store and Google Play Store. Visa Coach. Everyone needs a coach.
kelempar deh. Boleh tolong dimasukin lagi?
Mil, tadi dari nomor berapa, Mil?
Bogor. Salah, Mbak.
Learning style atau gaya belajar mengalami perubahan fenomenal di 1 tahun terakhir ini akibat adanya disrupsi di dunia teknologi dan juga krisis akibat pandemi yang kemudian dalam tanda petik memaksa orang-orang untuk mengubah gaya belajarnya menjadi online. Dan ini merupakan tren positif yang kami di Coaching Indonesia menyambutnya dengan gembira. Kami berkesempatan untuk membangun ditambah dengan interaksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach yang membuat teman-teman yang sedang belajar ini seolah-olah berada di kelas. Namun juga mendapatkan tambahan-tambahan fitur seperti quiz, assessment, jejak pendapat, dan juga paket-paket entertainment yang kemudian dikemas untuk mempercepat proses pembelajaran. Dan ini memungkinkan kami untuk juga menjangkau kalangan yang lebih luas di Indonesia. Kalangan pemerintahan, kalangan swasta, guru, mahasiswa, pebisnis, semuanya memiliki akses yang sama. Dari manapun, kapanpun, semuanya bisa menggunakan teknologi ini hanya dengan memindahkan jari-jari tangan dan kemudian berinteraksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach yang ada di Coaching Indonesia.
Isn't it beautiful? How our destinies have become intertwined. Once underdogs, we've gone so far.
Transforming the Indonesian technology industry, providing accessible daily solutions,
and democratizing commerce through technology, fulfilling one shared mission of doing good for all. But how far can we go?
For that very question, we've decided to come together to be stronger.
Adopting gotong royong, the Indonesian spirit of working together, to extend the opportunity for a better life to everyone. Made possible by a team of challengers, passionate for a greater impact.
We are local pioneers, ready to shape the global world. To democratize opportunity, to uplift everyone by giving them an equal chance to thrive.
Gojek and Tokopedia introducing the power of togetherness. Go to, go far, go together.
Masalah di kita kan terutama di petani itu biasanya di modal sama pemasaran.
Kita ada semangat baru. Kita nggak takut lagi harus jual kemana sih hasil kerja kita. Selain kita dikasih pembiayaan, modal pembiayaan untuk budidaya, dikasih juga jaminan pasarnya dan kontrak harga.
Biar petani bisa lebih maju.
Tapi kita juga ingin saling membantu.
Welcome to to Visa Coach, the first coaching mobile app in Indonesia. Let's get started. Elevate your knowledge and skills in various coaching programs. Accelerate your growth in career, business, and life. Enjoy exclusive content via the app. Check out our videos, podcasts, articles, and tools. Find specialized coaches from 8 coaching categories. Get to know your coaches from their profiles and professional experiences. Get your Visa Coach account now by simply signing up with your email address. Fill in your profile professionally. Choose the goal that you want to achieve and find a coach to help you succeed on your journey towards the goal. Manage your coaching session easily by scheduling, tracking, and updating progress like never before. Rate your coach by adding stars and comments about your session. Download Visa Coach now for free, available on App Store and Google Play Store. Visa Coach. Everyone needs a coach.
Selamat siang, Bu Elvi Christina. Pindah grup atau kelempar atau
Ya,
gimana?
boleh saya pindah grup ke personal growth?
Oh, personal growth ya, baik.
Ya,
Berarti
oke, thank
saya
you.
assign dulu ya, Bu. Mohon
Ya.
ditunggu. Selamat siang, Pak Chandra. Pak Chandra, kelempar. Tadi dari ruangan mana ya?
Siang. Mbak, tadi tuh saya salah room kayaknya. Tadi tuh dari business coaching.
Harusnya ke
ini, career coaching.
Ke coaching yang mana, Pak? Business coaching atau personal growth atau
Cice.
Ya. Tadi dari ruangan mana, Bapak tahu?
Dari ruangan dari BC.
Dari business coaching.
Betul.
Oh ya, baik, mohon ditunggu ya.
Halo.
Ya, Bu Lim.
Iya, Kak. Saya tadi keputus.
Dari ruangan berapa, Ibu?
Saya tadi sama Mulia di OI ya.
Oke, baik. Mohon ditunggu.
Ya,
Untuk
thank
Pak Chandra
you.
bisa klik join saja. Klik breakout room di bawah, di menu di bawah. Tinggal klik join.
Siap.
Learning style atau gaya belajar mengalami perubahan fenomenal di 1 tahun terakhir ini akibat adanya
Kok saya masuk ke sini ya?
teknologi dan juga
Ya Pak Andi. Pak Andi tadi dari ruangan berapa?
Pak Tigor.
Pak Tigor ya. Tigor Namora ya. Mohon ditunggu Pak.
Ya.
Dan ini merupakan tren positif yang kami di Coaching Indonesia menyambutnya dengan gembira. Kami berkesempatan untuk membangun platform teknologi yang memungkinkan orang bisa belajar dari mana saja. Dan ditambah dengan interaksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach yang membuat teman-teman yang sedang belajar ini seolah-olah berada di kelas. Namun juga mendapat
Pak Glenn,
tambahan fitur
Pak Glenn
quiz,
terlempar atau perlu kami masukkan kembali?
paket entertainment yang kemudian dikemas untuk mempercepat proses pembelajaran. Dan ini memungkinkan kami untuk juga menjangkau kalangan yang lebih luas di Indonesia. Kalangan pemerintahan, kalangan swasta, guru, mahasiswa, pebisnis, semuanya memiliki akses yang sama. Dari manapun, kapanpun, semuanya bisa menggunakan teknologi ini hanya dengan memindahkan jari-jari tangan dan kemudian berinteraksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach yang ada di Coaching Indonesia.
Isn't it beautiful? How our destinies have become intertwined. Once underdogs, we've gone so far.
Transforming the Indonesian technology industry, providing accessible daily solutions,
And democratizing commerce through technology. Fulfilling one shared mission of doing good for all. But how far can we go?
For that very question, we've decided to come together to be stronger.
Adopting gotong royong, the Indonesian spirit of working together. To extend the
Halo Mbak.
for a better life.
Ya Pak Chandra, tinggal diklik saja Pak.
Tadi tuh ke room sebelumnya Mbak.
Oh, ke room sebelumnya. Baik, mohon ditunggu ya Pak.
For a greater impact.
We are local pioneers, ready to shape the global world. To democratize opportunity, to uplift everyone by giving them an equal chance to thrive.
Gojek and Tokopedia introducing the power of togetherness. Go to, go far, go together.
Masalah di kita kan terutama di hutan itu biasanya di modal sama pemasaran.
Kita ada semangat baru. Kita nggak takut lagi harus jual kemana sih hasil kerja kita. Selain kita dikasih pembiayaan, modal pembiayaan untuk budidaya, dikasih juga jaminan pasarnya dan kontrak harga.
Biar petani bisa lebih maju.
Tapi itu juga ingin saling membantu.
Visa Coach, the first coaching mobile app in Indonesia. Let's get started. Elevate your knowledge and skills in various coaching programs. Accelerate your growth in career, business, and life.
Ada sih, ada tulisan ininya, ada tulisan apa namanya?
Mbak Mutia, yes.
Ya,
We can all hear you.
ya. Sorry.
Iya. Bisa diklik join?
Get to know your coaches from their profiles and professional experience.
Belum keluar, klik join-nya.
Your Visa Coach
Belum keluar ya, wait.
simply signing up with
Mana?
your email address.
Sudah.
Your profile professional.
Sudah belum Mbak Mutia?
Choose the goal that you want to achieve.
Sudah di-assign soalnya kalau dari sini.
Help you succeed on your
Tapi belum keluar tuh, ya aku.
Ada menu breakout room nggak di bawah?
Nggak ada.
Hah?
Nggak ada.
Oh, nggak ada?
rate your coach by adding stars and comments about
Nggak ada menu breakout room?
Nggak ada.
Di sini di situ sudah di-assign.
available on App Store and Google Play Store. Visa Coach. Everyone needs a coach.
Leave the room and come back, please, Mbak Mutia.
Oke.
Mak, udah bisa belum? Menu
Belum.
breakout-nya ada nggak?
Nggak ada.
Bentar ya, Mak. Bu Nuryati, ada menu breakout room-nya. Bisa tinggal diklik saja.
Mae itu harus klik di breakout karena di sini sudah di-assign.
Iya, tapi di tempatku nggak ada menu breakout-nya sekarang.
Should be on the top of the screen, maybe.
Tulis titik 3.
Nggak ada sih.
Harus ada karena sudah di-assign, tapi Mbak Mutia belum join tulisannya.
Iya, ajakan join-nya nggak ada. Lalu
Harus dicari di titik 3 atau di menu, more menu atau gitu. Tadi Al juga gitu.
titik 3-nya nggak kelihatan. Tunggu.
Bu Nuryati, tadi dari room berapa ya, Bu? Bisa di unmute atau di chat mungkin.
Di titik 3-nya nggak ada tuh. Adanya gambar cangkir, tepuk tangan.
Di more menu gitu, coba dicek yang lain. Karena di sini udah di-assign, kita nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain lagi.
Iya, more menu cuma ada rename, edit profile. Kok lucu ya?
Bukan, yang di bawah.
Gimana, Bu? Saya ketinggalan, Mak.
Iya, Bu Nuryati, kita kan lagi breakout room. Tadi Ibu sudah sempat masuk ke breakout room belum ya?
Tadi udah klik sih.
Tapi belum sempat masuk ke breakout room.
Tempat yang
Baik,
sorry.
Kayak tadi sempat keluar soalnya.
Oh, tadi dari ruangan berapa? Ingatkah?
Lupa.
Lupa ya. Coachnya siapa? Nggak ingat juga.
Nggak ingat.
Oke, mau ditunggu ya, kami assign dulu.
Ya.
Oh, nggak ada ya.
Disrupsi di dunia teknologi dan juga
Coba, I'll try to leave
yang kemudian dalam tanda
first.
kutip memaksa orang-orang untuk mengubah gaya belajarnya menjadi online. Dan ini merupakan tren positif yang kami di Coaching Indonesia menyambutnya dengan gembira. Kami berkesempatan untuk membangun platform teknologi yang memungkinkan orang bisa belajar dari mana saja. Dan ditambah dengan interaksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach, yang membuat teman-teman yang sedang belajar ini seolah-olah berada di kelas. Namun juga mendapatkan tambahan-tambahan fitur seperti quiz, assessment, jejak pendapat, dan juga paket-paket entertainment.
Bu Nuryati, sudah kami assign. Bisa diklik join breakout room. Di menu di bawah. Ada tulisan breakout room nggak ya?
Belum ada, Bu.
Belum ada ya? Kalau
Belum ada.
Sudah di-assign soalnya. Ini ya.
Dengan memindahkan jari-jari tangan dan kemudian berinteraksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach yang ada di Coaching Indonesia.
Isn't it beautiful? How our destinies have become intertwined. Once underdogs, we've gone so far.
Tetap nggak kelihatan breakout room-nya.
Transforming the Indonesian
Strange.
technology industry. Providing accessible daily solutions.
And democratizing commerce through technology. Fulfilling one shared mission of doing good for all. But how far can we go?
For that very question, we've decided to come together to be stronger.
Adopting gotong royong, the Indonesian spirit of
Di sini tulisannya the host has open breakout rooms. Please wait to be assigned.
to everyone. Made possible by a team of challengers. For a greater impact.
Tuh, San.
Yes, Mbak. There's nothing we can do karena di sini sudah di-assign.
Mungkin dikeluarin dulu dari breakout room.
Sudah, Mbak. Lu tuh udah nggak sudah nggak ada di breakout room, ada di main room. Dan di main room sudah di-assign, tinggal klik.
Tapi di sini tulisannya please wait to be assigned.
Nah, ya itu makanya aku nggak tahu apakah glitch di Zoom-nya atau bagaimana.
Jeng jeng jeng. Ya, bisa assign tadi di pertanyaan di step 2 sih bisa assign.
Oke.
Yang lain nggak?
Oke, ini kita alihkan ke coach lain. Pak Ahmad, tadi kelempar atau gimana?
Tadi internet saya gangguan, Bu, terus keputus.
Masih ingat dari PC berapa?
Dari PC tadi, Bu.
Iya. Coach-nya dengan siapa?
Siapa tadi ya? Sebentar, saya lupa. perempuan tadi 2 orang jilbaban sama satunya Bu Ira ya kalau nggak salah.
Coba saya cek dulu ya Pak. Kak TJ, sudah selesai atau?
Udah selesai, Sus. Kami hanya berdua tadi, bertiga sama coachnya.
Oke, thank you.
Thank you, Sus.
Let's get started. Elevate your knowledge and skills in various coaching programs. Accelerate your growth in career, business, and life. Enjoy exclusive content via the app. Check out our videos, podcasts, articles, and tools. Find specialized coaches from 8 coaching categories. Get to know your coaches from their profiles and professional experiences. Get your VistaCoach account now by simply signing up with your email address. Fill in your profile professionally. Choose the goal that you want to achieve and find a coach to help you succeed on your journey towards the goal. Manage your coaching session easily by scheduling, tracking, and updating progress like never before. Rate your coach by adding stars and comments about your session. Download VistaCoach now for free, available on App Store and Google Play Store. VistaCoach. Everyone needs a coach.
Learning style atau gaya belajar mengalami perubahan fenomenal di 1 tahun terakhir ini akibat adanya disrupsi di dunia teknologi dan juga krisis akibat pandemi yang kemudian dalam tanda petik memaksa orang-orang untuk mengubah gaya belajarnya menjadi online. Dan ini merupakan tren positif yang kami di Coaching Indonesia menyambutnya dengan gembira. Kami berkesempatan untuk membangun platform teknologi yang memungkinkan orang bisa belajar dari mana saja. Dan ditambah dengan interaksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach yang membuat teman-teman yang sedang belajar ini seolah-olah berada di kelas. Namun juga mendapatkan tambahan-tambahan fitur seperti quiz, assessment, jejak pendapat, dan juga paket-paket entertainment yang kemudian dikemas untuk mempercepat proses pembelajaran. Dan ini memungkinkan kami untuk juga menjangkau kalangan yang lebih luas di Indonesia, kalangan pemerintahan, kalangan swasta, guru, mahasiswa, pebisnis, semuanya memiliki akses yang sama. Dari manapun, kapanpun, semuanya bisa menggunakan teknologi ini hanya dengan memindahkan jari-jari tangan dan kemudian berinteraksi langsung dengan fasilitator, dengan mentor, dengan coach yang ada di Coaching Indonesia.
Isn't it beautiful? How our destinies have become intertwined. Once underdogs, we've gone so far.
Transforming the Indonesian technology industry, providing accessible daily solutions,
and democratizing commerce through technology, fulfilling one shared mission of doing good for all. But how far can we go?
For that very question, we've decided to come together to be stronger.
Adopting gotong royong, the Indonesian spirit of working together, to extend the opportunity for a better life to everyone. Made possible by a team of challengers, passionate for a greater impact.
We are local pioneers, ready to shape the global world. To democratize opportunity, to uplift everyone by giving them an equal chance to thrive.
Gojek and Tokopedia introducing the power of togetherness. Go to, go far, go together.
Masalah di kita kan terutama di hutan itu biasanya di modal sama pemasaran.
Kita ada semangat baru. Kita nggak takut lagi harus jual kemana sih hasil kerja kita. Selain kita dikasih pembiayaan, modal pembiayaan untuk budidaya, dikasih juga jaminan pasarnya dan kontrak harga.
Biar petani bisa lebih maju.
Tapi itu juga ingin saling membantu.
Welcome to Visa Coach, the first coaching mobile app in Indonesia. Let's get started. Elevate your knowledge and skills in various coaching programs. Accelerate your growth in career, business, and life. Enjoy exclusive content via the app. Check out our videos, podcasts, articles, and tools. Find specialized coaches from 8 coaching categories. Get to know your coaches from their profiles and professional experiences. Get your Visa Coach account now by simply signing up with your email address. Fill in your profile professionally. Choose the goal that you want to achieve, and find a coach to help you succeed on your journey towards the goal. Manage your coaching session easily by scheduling, tracking, and updating progress like never before. Rate your coach by adding stars and comments about your session. Download Visa Coach now for free, available on App Store and Google Play Store. Visa Coach. Everyone needs a coach.
Halo teman-teman, bisa dengar semua?
Bisa.
Bisa.
Siap. Thank you.
Bisa,
Semoga
Pak.
teman-teman
Halo, Pak
mendapatkan
Iksan.
manfaat terbaik dalam acaranya. Ini teman saya Toshiki di mana nih? Masih di breakout room.
Enggak, masih udah balik.
Oh. Oke. Ya, silakan Mas Al, kita tampilkan lagi master coach kita untuk memberikan tanggapannya.
Ya, terima kasih Pak Iksan dan juga Pak Toshiki ya atas penyelenggaraan acara ini, khususnya juga dari tim Coaching Indonesia yang sudah dari jam 6 pagi kita standby di sini ya, waktu Indonesia bagian Barat. Dan juga Bu Rizka, terutama Pak Nugroho juga dari Konsulat Jenderal Republik Indonesia di San Francisco. Dan saya tidak akan lama-lama karena ini tim coach yang tadi bertugas itu harus segera switch Zoom-nya untuk memberikan coaching ya jam 10.30 ke Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan yang membantu Nadiem untuk mengcoach guru penggerak. Jadi saya hanya ingin mengucapkan terima kasih sebanyak-banyaknya kepada semua peserta dan juga penyelenggara atas kebersamaan kita hari ini di Hari Kebangkitan Nasional. Dan semoga dari takeaway di sesi kelompok tadi bisa memberikan insight dan bisa di-follow up melalui proses refleksi dan juga para coach yang tadi memberikan sesi kepada Anda itu pun available untuk dicari di Visa Coach ya, sehingga nanti teman-teman bisa continue journey-nya untuk menemukan authenticity di area bisnis, kemudian juga career atau juga personal growth. Jadi sekali lagi kami ingin mengucapkan terima kasih dan selalu embark on your journey of expanding yourself to become your best self.
Yay. Oke, Sam, ini aja yang ingatkan teman-teman. Jadi bagi tadi yang ikut breakout room, continue ya journey-nya, percakapannya dengan coach-coach coaching Indonesia yang menanti Anda di vicecoach.com. Dan teman-teman yang ingin mendapatkan akses presentasi tadi, silahkan, di situ pun disediakan di Vice Class. Dan yang mengikuti secara penuh juga akan mendapatkan e-certificate, begitu ya, Toshiki ya?
Yap, betul sekali. Di sertifikat hanya untuk orang-orang yang ikut dari awal sampai habis.
Yes, oke. Dan ucapan terima kasih juga kepada para pembicara tadi ya, Pak Kevin yang berangkat lebih awal. Sebenarnya Pak Ainul yakin dari Gojek juga, Chief Marketing Officer Gojek ikut juga. Terima kasih Pak Konjen yang masih mengikuti acara, Pak Nugroho juga dan tim, Ibu Rizka. Terima kasih. Mungkin ada hal lain, Toshiki, yang mau disampaikan sebelum kita tutup acara ini?
Mungkin itu saja. Mungkin ada satu reminder juga kalau untuk teman-teman yang di luar Indonesia untuk bisa join ke Indonesian Professional Association di luar juga. Jadi ipanet.org, ipanet.org bisa join IPA di situ. Kita ada di Amerika, ada di Hong Kong, ada di Singapura, ada di beberapa tempat di Eropa juga. Mungkin itu aja. Terima kasih banget semua untuk waktunya udah ikutin acara ini dari pagi banget di Indonesia.
Oke, teman-teman, para coach, terutama yang terhormat, terima kasih atas bantuannya. Para coaches, terima kasih. Dan sukses bersama Dekdikbud ya. Sampai jumpa di acara lain ya, Mas Al ya. Di negara lain mungkin.
Di negara lain mungkin ya, tetap online.
Tetap online. Stay safe.
Terima kasih, Pak.
Terima kasih, Pak Iksan.
Terima kasih banyak.
Terima kasih, Pak Iksan.
Terima kasih banyak, Pak Iksan.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih semua.
Bye, thank you.
Welcome to Visa Coach, the first coaching mobile app in Indonesia. Let's get started. Elevate your knowledge and skills in various coaching programs. Accelerate your growth in career, business, and life. Enjoy exclusive content via the app. Check out our videos, podcasts, articles, and tools. Find specialized coaches from 8 coaching categories. Get to know your coaches from their profiles and professional experiences. Get your Visa Coach account now by simply signing up with your email address. Fill in your profile professionally. Choose the goal that you want to achieve and find a coach to help you succeed on your journey towards the goal. Manage your coaching session easily by scheduling, tracking, and updating progress like never before. Rate your coach by adding stars and comments about your session. Download Visa Coach now for free, available on App Store and Google Play Store. Visa Coach. Everyone needs a coach.